They built quite a bit there, so we're going to move on up around. We're going to move to our second spot here, scouting out places to build in the Isle of SIPTAH. But still we can take advantages of the plentiful resources found here, chiefly being the aloe. We are going to need a lot of aloe potions before our adventure is all done. If I remember correctly, there's also yes, there's a scroll right here. These are scattered about different places that teach us things, teach us emotes. While they're not absolutely necessary to winning the game, they do add some fun customizations. Since this place is occupado, we're going to try and move up around to another place that I've had good luck with before. Relatively close to this area, so as these resources respawn, we'll be able to come back, because there is also very important coal located in this area. And there we are, over encumbered. We drop. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and build a couple building pieces just to lower our weight down. Okay, let's move on. Now up on this area, there's another player right there. And he's got his little follower there behind him. Now we have to take a bit of care in this area. There are some of the big cats up here, and the big stone monsters. We're definitely not ready to take on them yet. Just our shitty cloth armor. And there's another one. We might be able to take him. You can see we're swinging and swinging, but we're not doing much damage. Between the crappy stone weapon and not having much strength, yeah, this is going to take a few months. But we're doing pretty well keeping our stamina up, staying away from his attacks. We can keep doing that. We'll have him worn down here shortly. There, that's what we wanted. And this button, or this game, is definitely not just a button smasher. You need to time your attacks, time your defenses, time your dodges. Okay, so what we were going after, there was a iron deposit here. And the area that I want to go to, if it's not already taken, has very close access to coal, iron, stone and trees everywhere, plant fiber everywhere, even berries, just no water. Very convenient. There are going to be some more of these stone monsters up here that we're just going to try and skip through. There's also a thrall camp right up there in the cliffs above us that we'll be able to use later on once we have a wheel of pain established. Oh, somebody built a little something there. And that's the thing with these multiplayer maps. While every map is the same, everyone's going to build in different areas. Okay, we're not going to waste the time trying to kill this guy, so we're gonna scoot. There's another one there. Did we shake him? Nope, there's one still coming. Oh, we're out of stamina again. Two of them on us. Okay, dodge and weave, dodge and weave. There we got our stamina enough back. We can run away a little bit. And they should be... Ooh, they should be getting bored here soon and going back to their spawn points. Oh, come on, get bored and go home already. Okay, and with the music going, usually means the threat goes as well. Okay, now this is the place I've had a lot of luck with in the past. This large giant stone outcropping. And if we have a look on the map here, we'll zoom in. You can see we're very close to a lot of areas. We're just over the hill from that lake, and it's access to aloe and a little bit of coal. But the big resource here is this river with alligators. Those are going to be a big XP boost, as well as giving us materials to make our armor. We're very close to this ravine area. We just have to watch out. There's some scorpions and even a boss scorpion down in here that we have to be alert for. But we can also get a lot of brimstone. Some aloe up in towards the mouth. And then we also have this plains area to the south of us that has rhino. If we really cross our fingers, we can find a baby rhino to tame. And also in this area here is a large supply of coal and ironstone that we'll need. We also have wood to the south, wood and stone to the north of us. Like I said, the only thing that's not really convenient for us in this area is water. So for right now, our goal is going to be to build a platform here at the bottom, the base of this stone mountain. And in the future, our expansion plans are to build up an elevator and build also up on top to make us purge resistant. So we made a couple pieces here. We want to start with just a simple square for now. Let's go ahead and allocate our points. One more encumbrance, one more grit, and one more in survival. And what new technologies do we have? Okay, we can make an iron broadsword, we can make a wheel of pain, which we will take that because that will also unlock our animal pens and our stables. We will spend one for cosmetic to have these torches for inside our house. Let's see if we can build our basic steps here. Build us a box. Almost. set up some storage, and then we'll be able to start harvesting some resources and building our basic benches. Now, before I said we had the sandstorm on the exiled lands, and with the Isle of SIPTAH we have the maelstrom, which is centered around that big tower right there. So luckily, with our positioning, we are right on the edge of it. We are outside of the maelstrom, so we do not have to worry about being struck by random bolts of lightning or the monsters that come with it. But if we do want to go in and fight some of them, we can certainly do that. We're also next to a ley shrine, which is something new that's been added since the exiled lands, and I'm still trying to figure those out. But there are materials that you can gather and use at one of these ley shrines to summon thralls to your area, to the ley shrine, and then again you take your cudgel and beat the crap out of them, throw them on your wheel of pain. Okay, so we don't want to starve here while we're waiting. Okay, we now have our bench we want to, or our box we want to put down, our fireplace, and our bedroll. Okay, and there's the basis of our base. Okay, so right now we're going to go and start harvest some of the basics. We want to be able to get our platform a little bit bigger here for our basic tool benches, and we want to start processing iron. What is this down here? Is there someone just randomly standing here? Now this may be a leftover, yeah, she's guarding. This is someone's leftover thrall that they either died or left the game, or at one point had something built here and just left the game for too long, and their buildings decayed. So we definitely want to take advantage of resources that we have here. Stone, here's iron, our bushes, there's berry plants. Berries come in handy for a food source when you can't find anything else, and also as a good food source once we get a horse. As each animal that we would want to tame has a different food source. And if you're liking the videos, if you find them informative, fun, please go ahead and follow, leave a like, leave a thumbs up. It'd really do a lot to help my channels on Twitch and YouTube, both as the Gray Hair Gamer. And we're just getting started off with our channels, so any support you folks could give out there will be truly appreciated. Okay, we want to keep an eye on our encumbrance. You can see there's a lot of stone down in this valley, a lot more wood down in this valley. We're in a pretty decent spot. So now it's just a matter of stockpiling some materials. It is one interesting thing I've found on multiplayer maps with this game. The building decay. Because you'll have people that will come into these servers and they will go crazy. Just building huge, elaborate structures. They won't build one furnace, they'll build 4, or they'll build 6. They'll have 4 or 5 carpenter's benches going, and they'll have thralls at all of them. And then they'll move on to another server or get bored, or, you know, whatever reason, and they'll stop playing. And all of those buildings then decay. And if you're lucky enough, and you catch one within a bit of time of it decaying, it will drop all those materials that they were working on. So if you luck out, you can roll in and snag up legendary weapons, legendary armor, tons of basic materials, leather, stone, that sort of thing. All for gimme. All for a freebie. It's not very rare that it does, or it's not very common that it does happen, but I've had it happen to me a couple times, and it's amazing the stuff you'll find that people just throw away and just left behind. Okay, it looks like we need to pick up some more lumber. This is one of the more tedious and boring parts of the game, but you kind of have to do it. Okay, now it looks like we have enough stone that we can build our furnace, but we need to have a little bit bigger of an area here. And sometimes I like to build towers up here. We can still do that. We just tear down these 4 quick blocks, but we're gonna need more material for that, more stone and wood. We also want to be on the... Oh, speaking of the maelstrom, speaking of the storm, this might be it. Okay, you can see up there in the sky, a big hole opening up in space. Right above this big tower. And it's kind of something out of H.P. Lovecraft here, to be honest. You'll see the sky open up and big tentacles start to form. There you see the hurricane type effect of the winds. And now when we're higher levels and better armor, better weapon, yeah, we'll take a foray or two. We'll take a trip into there and see what's going on. But at this level, with just simple cloth on our backs, Yeah, we're not going anywhere near that place. And luckily the immediate area here where we picked to put our base, there's not too much aggressive wildlife. We had a couple deer to the north there. When we came in, we encountered those rock creatures, but they don't come down this far. So we really don't have to worry too much about getting attacked here. We can take our time and gather up what materials we're going to need. Now I know a lot of streamers and a lot of gamers will edit their games down to just the highlights, the exciting moments. I prefer not to do that because it gives you a kind of a misrepresentation of what the game's about. I like to give the full experience for the viewers, especially if you're new to this game or have never played it before, never heard of it. I want you to see the good and the bad. So while this might be a bit boring and a bit tedious, it is part of the game. The weight management, the inventory management is just a big part of the game as the combat and the crafting systems. Okay, there we have some putrid meat to get rid of. Okay, so now we should have enough that we can build our platform a bit bigger here. And for right now, we're just going to stay in the sandstone building set. I will add some of the flotsam later on once we get our basic floor plan laid out. But for right now, we just want to expand onto our base area. Okay, we can build a couple more here just to square this off. And then the next layer out here, I'm going to do something a little different. One, I want to change it up visually by adding pieces of the flotsam set. And also, I want to test out a theory I saw on YouTube. It has to do with the purge. And that our purge meter down at the bottom in the center, underneath our character picture, will fill up and we will get attacked by the purge. That is one thing that has remained between the exiled lands and the Isle of SIPTAH, is the purge. But I saw a video that suggested that if we do not build all with foundations, if we take a few of them and have instead of a square foundation, we use a square ceiling tile on a post, that it will reduce how much the purge meter fills, or it has something to do with making it that we're going to be less likely to be attacked by the purge. So that is definitely worth trying out. We will give it a shot. So in this next expansion, we will take flotsam pieces and we will do a few of them as tile on posts. It will also give us a nice contrast between the stone and the wood. Okay, so even though this maelstrom is going on, and yes, it will go on for quite a bit, as long as we stay out of it, we'll be just fine. Yeah, so a bit more stone and a bit more wood, and we'll be able to start our coal production, our iron production, get ready to build a blacksmith bench, and to get a big upgrade in weapons and tools. At least it's nice that no one had already occupied the spot we wanted, and no one right on top of us either. Is a good bonus for competing for resources. Okay, starting to get a bit dark. So we will head back up to our safe area, and we're going to snag onto a few more plant fiber. Those we can get from a multitude of bushes. You can get plant fiber also from the berry bushes. And there's that random NPC just still standing there, and they will literally stand there forever till they decay. Because night's going to be coming soon, we want to build some torches, get some lights up. Not only do torches, like the standing torches, light up your area at night, it also marks what territory that you've claimed. It'll keep other people from building right on top of us. So let's see here, we're going to skip our attribute points just for the moment and make sure that we have that technology unlocked. Yes, there we do. The middle one there, standing torches, and we can build them without a bench. We start off by building a regular torch, not an improvised torch, but a regular torch, and we will build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. And then once we have a regular torch, we can add sticks to that. Oh, I don't have enough sticks. Add sticks to that and make the finished product of the standing torch. Standing torches also, you can pick up and relocate. You can return them to your inventory, relocate them however many times as you wish. Okay. So we're... Okay, there's our other torch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there we go. So we want to plop one right here, and then we want to lay claim to some of this. If we can, not aligned enough with the ground. Ah, there we go. Auto align. So we're just going to stake off the area, immediate area here. So that no one else can just roll up and start building right up on top of us. Okay, we're over encumbered, but not for long. We're going to build our furnace. And what do we need? Our armorer's bench. 200 stone, 100 wood, 25 twine. 250 stone for a blacksmith's bench. Okay, so it looks like our next run is going to be a coal and ironstone run. Now, one thing I was able to do before that was pretty cool, we're going to pick these up temporarily, was I was able to take my furnace and implant it into the side of the cliff. There we go. So it doesn't take up as much room. Okay. Now we have to replace our storage box and our fire pit. Oh, we want to hang on to that coal. We want to hang on to the ironstone. And we can at least get that a little bit started. Okay, so now we're going to... Oh, I forgot to place our little fire pit. And now we want to make our stone run. Or ironstone, rather. Which we can find just right back here over this little hillside. And it looks like someone has built right over top where the resources were. Let's go down and have a look and see just how bad it is. There we can grab a bit of coal. At least that much respawns. And yeah, there's some iron. We covered up some of it, but not all of it. See, now he's in a pretty good spot too. He built up on top of the hillside, or the mountain, to make him safe from the purge. It's kind of unimaginative. And he's in a good spot with wood, stone, coal, iron. So he at least showed some planning in the placement of his base. Just not too much in the aesthetic department. Here we're allowing our SIPTAH. There we go. It's all repaired. It's one of the bonuses of stone tools is they don't get you a whole lot of material, but they are cheap to fix. And there's usually a few more ironstone deposits right around in here. I'd like to get a little bit more before we head back. Yeah, here we go. There's one, and then there should be another one just to our right. Yeah, 3 of them actually. Oh, and that sound should mean that the maelstrom is over for now. And Yep, there goes the hole in the sky. The clouds should clear up here in a few moments. And now it is, well, I won't say it's completely safe to head into the Maelstrom area. It is no more dangerous than usual, we'll say. Because pretty much everywhere you go in Conan Exiles has its own danger. Okay, there, the sun's coming out. We can save our torch. And we're... I don't know, we still have a good bit of encumbrance left. So we'll snag up what we can as we make our way back to our encampment. I think that's all for the ironstone. There may be one more up here. I kind of doubt it. Yeah, there we go. Because we are going to need a literal ton of iron, as well as multiple tons of stone, multiple tons of wood and lumber before it's all said and done, before our base is completed. One thing here, when we are doing the first steps of our base, we always want to be aware of the latter steps of our base, which would include the future of building up on top of this stone, like that other fella we saw did, but hopefully with a little more style. Future plans here would include, in this area, building a stable for a horse, building an animal pen. We might be able to tuck an animal pen in here, over here as well. We also want to be building a wheel of pain that we're going to need, and a well, a source of drinking water once we get to high enough levels for that. Okay, so let's continue on here. More fuel for our furnace. More iron ore. There, we're starting to get a little bit built up. We have almost 20 already. We have 60 more working. That'll be a nice little start for our big upgrade. We have an hour, 22 minutes left in our burn time of our coal. And next thing we want to do is, it looks like we need to expand a bit again. So this time, like I said, we're going to change it up, and we're going to use some of the flotsam building set, which requires a lot of wood. Like we mentioned in our Conan Exiles video series, if you haven't taken a look at that, I highly recommend taking a gander, especially if you're a new player here to Conan Exiles. But the big difference is you start off learning the sandstone building set, and now with the SIPTAH, you learn the flotsam building set. The sandstone uses exactly that, a lot of stone per piece and a little bit of wood, lumber, and the flotsam set requires a lot of wood and just a little stone. So while our axe is repairing itself, there we go. Now When we first started, we used a pickaxe to get bark from these trees. And they were over encumbered. We're still over encumbered. Okay, so let's make some pieces. Alright, that was enough. Yeah, we were getting bark from the trees by using a pickaxe. When we moved to, I believe it's iron, an iron axe or iron hatchet, that we should get bark from the trees using that as well, so we won't have to damage two separate tools in our harvesting. So we have 2 squares built. We're going to need quite a bit more than that. And don't ignore these tree stumps. You still get quite a bit of stone branches and bark eventually from them as well. Okay, let's see what we can build here. Now we were going to also try that technique of cutting down on the purge. So we are going to build a few of the ceiling tiles and some posts. Again, the premise of this video that I saw was that if you alternate your building foundations with building on posts, that it will cut down either the purge meter or how often that you're attacked by the purge. We don't know, again, that that's true, but it's worth trying out. So what we're going to do is we're going to experiment with that. Well, first off, since we can't, it's hard to set the height of this post, and we want everything to be level, we're going to put in a ceiling first, and then have the post match to it. Okay, that one we had to build a second one. And we will also build, since we have it, we'll build a couple out here. Like I said, this is only a test of a theory. But at least by adding a bit of difference, a bit of combination of the two sets, we can show a little innovation, a little creativity. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a backlog on some of our materials there, which is fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and use some of them to finish off this expanded spot. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with these, it doesn't really matter which is outer face and which is the inner face. You can rotate them, but it doesn't really make too much difference. Okay, we need one more for over here. There we go. Okay, so we're slowly starting to expand our area and get some more room to build. And again, back for more stone and iron. And I don't know if where we just went has had time to respawn those resources yet. Until they do, we'll go check out this area. The way we came in past the stone monsters. We can find some find some natural resources up there. Now, since we don't have iron weapons yet, we still want to kind of avoid these guys. And we also definitely want to avoid these guys up here. These bat demons. They're guarding an Elder Vault, which, if you're new to the Isle of SIPTAH, is a dungeon type area where there are many creatures to fight, as well as chests to loot. You can usually find some decent recipes in an Elder Vault as well, and we are no way ready for that yet. Now, the Elder Vaults do go in orders of difficulty. Some are more difficult than others, but unfortunately, while we have the convenience of having an Elder Vault right literally in our backyard, it is one of the more difficult ones. When we have some heavy armor built, some decent weapons, and a thrall trained, we will be ready before too much longer to go adventure towards an Elder Vault, but not that one. There are two. One, I know the name is the Vault of the Goblin Kind, and there is another one that has to do with goblins. Two Elder Vaults that are the lower levels. Now, as soon as we can get some iron weaponry, we will be able to come back through here and just kill everything in our path. But we're not quite there, not just quite yet. You see some more of these stone creatures here on the hillside behind us. Again, we do have an NPC camp up here with a jailer. That is a new feature for Isle of SIPTAH, that these camps will have thralls in large cages. The cages are locked unless you kill the jailer, loot his body for his key. And then you can open those cages, and just sometimes, there will be a thrall in there that you rescue, and they will be so grateful for you for rescuing them, saving their miserable little hides, that they will follow you without putting them on the Wheel of Pain, without spending hours and hours waiting for their will to be broken. And they do come in different types. Your fighters, your archers, your pack bearers. I have not seen myself. I have not seen any craftsman thralls in those cages yet, but you never can tell. That's just what I've noticed. Another thing, when we get our iron weapons, creatures like this deer will no longer be safe. We will definitely be after them for their hides. Okay, so now we have 82 iron, we have 60 more cooking, and that should be enough to get our blacksmith bench up. Yeah, 50. We need 250 stone, and then of course we'll need iron to make the individual tools and weapons. I believe they're 20 or 30 a piece, 20 for a tool, 30 for a weapon. But in the meantime here we will level up our attributes. Of course we want to add a little bit to strength. Now you can take two different methods when you're assigning your points. You can dump them all into one ability, or you can space them out a little bit. You get smaller bonuses. Eventually we're definitely going to take this up to our first perk, or thuggery perk, and we want our vitality ultimately up to our third perk, the fierce vitality, to gain the health regeneration. The other ones, there are different builds that you can find. Put all in survival, put all in agility, etc., etc. There's plenty of different ways you can spend your points. Now, if I were using a bow and arrow more often, I would definitely be putting points in accuracy. But most of the time, I don't really use them, so I'm going to save my points and put into strength and put into melee weapons. Okay, so let's go ahead and put these just both into strength for right now. We can use all the bonus to our melee damage that we can get. Let's see what we've unlocked now. Now we have unlocked the stone daggers, and we have to buy the stone daggers before we can make the iron daggers. We have unlocked the stone maul, and probably an iron maul, an iron broadsword, because we've already researched the stone sword, and the flanged iron mace, and the wooden shield. My one favorite one here is the iron short sword. It's not the most damaging weapon in the game, but it has a very cool combo that lets you lay out DPS almost as fast as the daggers. So I've been quite enjoying using them. The other things we want to spend money on here is our animal pen. You'll notice on the right hand side of what it teaches, the animal pen, the feed box, and then the new item, the small animal pen. If you played Conan Exiles before this, you'll remember the animal pen is very large. I believe it's 5 foundations by 4 foundations wide to build a platform underneath of it. And now we have the small animal pen, which is roughly the size of the stables for the horse, but the downside is you can only put one animal at a time in it. So smaller area, but smaller production. The regular animal pen, you can put, I believe, 5 animals in at one time, but it's very, very large. So that's one thing that we want to have in the future, is an animal pen. Okay, back to what we were doing, is we need 250 stone for our blacksmith bench, and we definitely have that. And now we have our iron bars. Let's make us a bench. By building this first, it'll actually help us out. We could be building the armorer's bench right now. We do have the tools to start making armor. With our skinning knife, we'll be able to get hides. But when we upgrade to an iron skinning knife, we'll be able to get a lot more skins per animal. And since we're in a place right now where there's not all that many animals that drop skins, we want to make the most of that. Oh, so that's cool. It'll also let us kind of put our blacksmith bench kind of in the mountain. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we will drop our iron bars in there. I believe we also need sticks. Yes, branches. And that's to make everything. You'll see here some other items we'll be able to build that will be used as building parts when we make higher level building sets, building blocks. For right now, we want some sticks. And we want to start off with a iron pick. And we already don't have enough iron bars. You can see you go through a lot of iron bars, even at this early stage in the game. So we're going to go ahead and build us a short sword as well. I believe it's a separate feat to unlock the iron skinning knife, so we'll have to wait and level up for that. One thing we can do in the meantime is craft our first potions, which again, we're lucky we don't need a separate bench for that. Okay, there we go. So we'll unequip that. And we will swap out our stone weapon and tool for an iron weapon and tool. Uh-oh. Wrong space. Okay, now we have our first iron weapon. And you'll see that's the combo I was telling you about. You do one heavy attack with the trigger, and then followed up with a couple quick light attacks with the bumper. Stab. Oh, we didn't time it right. It does take a bit of practice. There we go. Stab, 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 stab. We really get a lot of DPS using that. In fact, we're going to try it out on this deer here. Now we're not totally equipped for him, we just have our cloth armor. But we should be able to take him down. There he comes, he's aggressive. You can see that took quite a bit Get on him. And there, we finished him. There we can start to get some hides and food that we always need food. You can see here we have our potions going. We managed not to take any damage from that big deer. And then in a bit, not just yet, we'll be ready to come down here and start going toe-to-toe with these rhinos. Not only will they drop some better food, the exotic flesh, they will drop thick hide that we can make into thick leather, a prerequisite for our heavy armor, and also rhino hide, which we can use our tanner's bench to turn into thick hide, or we can use it just as rhino hide. There are some armor sets that require rhino hide as a main ingredient. There was one in the exiled lands that you had to fight into this camp, and you learned a hyena set, and that used hyena skin as a main ingredient. So that gives us a couple different options of what we can do with their hide. And we are over encumbered. What can we drop? We will drop this horn for now, and we will drop a little bit of this stone. Still not enough. There we go, just enough. And okay, so now our next steps are going to be to continue harvesting a little bit of coal and all the iron we can lay our hands on. We want to finish upgrading our tools, and we also want to continue working on our benches to make armor. We're going to need a armor bench, but also the tannery and perhaps a tanner's bench. Ooh, we don't have any fuel supply in there. Okay, so go snag a little bit of wood quick so we can cook up our dinner. Again, remember we do need the branches for making handles for tools and for weapons. You also use sticks a lot in the building process when you're making roof materials, sections of roof corners, that sort of thing. Okay, how many more? We got 25 more iron. That's enough to make one more tool, and we will make the axe. Okay, and we can't move an item in our quick slot while it's equipped, so we have to unequip it first. We're going to hang on to those just in case something happens. And I'm being a butterfingers. Okay, we did level up. Let's take a look. There, we got 6 more points to spend. See if we have unlocked the iron skinning knife. And we have. Okay, we have 2 points left. We can build a stable, which we know where baby horses are. We would probably, if we're very lucky, we could run in and run out with a baby foal. But I'm not willing to risk that without a little bit of armor. So we may hold off on that. We can make our artisan table. We can make a wooden shield that's better than our beginning one. We can make an iron axe. And we can make our fireball cauldron. Again, none of these are absolutely necessary right now. We will want the fireball cauldron when it comes time to upgrade from iron to steel. We will definitely need that then. But since they made the change originally, when the game first came out, the only way to make potions was to have a fireball cauldron. They've changed that and let us make the weak aloe potions just from our backpack now. So we're going to see if those resources back here, where we found the iron and stone and where we found that fella. Ooh, there we took a hit from the cliff. We're going to see if any of that has respawned yet, because that is by far our closest as well as our safest place to go for materials. Yeah, some have. Here we go. Now you see, now we're getting 9 ironstone a swing, where previously we were only getting 6. So the tools are definitely more efficient. Anything more in here? Maybe a little something up here. If I remember correctly, iron should be... There we discovered the claws. Not Santa Claus, not by a long shot. There should be more resources through this whole little valley. Yeah, there's some coal. Definitely want to snag up some of that. While we don't need to have a huge pile of coal right now, we do want to have some. We need to keep that furnace cooking. Yeah, here's some iron. There we go. So while this fella... Where's his little base at? There. While it may not be aesthetically advanced, he definitely gets points for finding a good area with lots of resources. Wow, here we go, a whole line of it. Excellent. We do need stone, but we don't need it right now. We're going to drop that to make room for more ironstone. Because we are going to need iron to make our armor as well as our weapons. And we are still overburdened, so we tried eating that quick little bit of food, and that was just enough to get us unencumbered. Here we are, dark. But we know we're in a safe area. So we're not too worried about getting jumped. We're not on a PvP server, so we don't have to worry about getting jumped by other players in the dead of night. We're gonna make our way back to our base here, back to our platform. Soon we'll be adding. We'll be on the lookout for our torches. Soon we'll be adding some walls, some fences, some defensive structures. But that's just a little bit in the future yet. Here we go. Now that it's night, you can see the blue light there. It's kind of hard to see. That's very hard to see. Blue light there. That's where those bat demons were. That's the light from the door of that Elder Vault. And we will definitely be checking that out later in our game. But right now it would be suicide. Let's get some more iron working. And we should have enough room. Yeah, we'll be able to build our armor bench and our tannery. I'm going to start producing some leather and some armor. And we'll be able to move those around later on. Those are benches that we can return to our inventory. Man, we are completely out of water now. So we're going to snag up that skin, twine, and plant fiber. We're going to make another water skin, because running around with one is just a huge pain in the butt. Okay. So I think what we're going to do, since it is still nighttime, kind of hard to see what's going on, we're going to make a quick trip back to that lake, going through the little area of the stone monsters, and refill our water skins, and pick up a few more aloe for potions. And the eye can see their beady little eyes from here. He is one of the stone monsters. Let's see how we do against him with our iron weaponry. And you can see now we are taking him down quite a bit faster than we were with that simple stone sword. Now we can harvest these animals, we can harvest the corpse. We would use a pickaxe instead of a skinning knife, and we would get some stone, some coal, some crystal. None of that right now is very important to me. See if we can sneak past that one. But we didn't sneak past that one. Okay. Or that one. Okay, we got two of them. We're gonna have to be sneaky. We want to time our attacks after they attack. And then we want to dodge and let our stamina recover. Okay, now we got three of them. Now it comes time just to expect us to run away. They've already taken a good chunk of our health. We don't want to lose any more. That's one big difference between the healing potion and the healing wraps. The healing wraps, we would have to stop dead. We would have to wait and not be able to move or run while we were using them. With the healing potion, we can use mid-battle. We get out a little bit ahead, and we barely have to stop. But luckily, those guys went on about their way, went back to their spawn areas, and left us alone. Now, even though this other player has built this big elaborate construct here, we can still come down and go through the area, refill our water, snag up some aloe vera, and very soon we will also have a iron sickle to harvest plants, to harvest aloe, to harvest flowers that will gather us up a lot more than just picking them up by hand. So while we're here, we're going to definitely take advantage of the natural resources. That's one reason, like I said at the beginning, why I like this area. You know, first come, first serve. When it comes to multiplayer servers, they were here first, so they got it. Okay, there we were able to kill a deer before he ran off. Something that we could not do with a stone sword, stone weapon. And we're going to be needing quite a bit of hides to make our armor. Did we get him? Did he run? Oh no, we got him. Okay. This is also, yep, more savory flesh, more food, and our encumbrance is still good, so we're gonna keep taking advantage of this. You can see this is an excellent area for aloe vera. There's also a little surprise down here. See, that fella has a big old rhinoceros guarding his base. So he was lucky enough to find a baby one. So far, I've only been lucky enough to find one baby rhino. And what is unique with them, and I really like, a big change with the rhino since the Exile lands, is that you can tame them to be a pet, and you can also tame them now to be a mount. You can ride them. Certain ones, you can ride them like a horse if you build the correct saddle. Okay, but here was our surprise. Is a small patch of gold ore. And always remember to look for and pick up the pieces, because unlike normal stone and wood that lets you smack it 5 or 6 times with your tool, these ones you only get one shot. So if you end up picking up the little fragments, you get just as many from the fragments as you do actual mining the pieces. So it looks like someone came through and smacked those. There was usually 2 nodes here. Looks like they smacked the nodes but left the same amount in pieces lying on the ground. So we will gladly take those as well. There is one place I know of. There's one place that I know of in the Isle of SIPTAH that is a friendly harbor, like the Seppermaru in the Exile lands. A place you can go and will not automatically be attacked by the NPCs, and also a place that has merchants. So we will be able to take this gold ore with the proper technologies, transfer into gold bars and then into gold coins, and take them up to that NPC friendly encampment and spend them. I know a few of the things you can get there. You can get a few of the animal cubs, the baby animals, one being a spider egg, and the other is being the bobcat, or lynx they call it. The lynx cub, the baby lynx, that you can raise and have as a companion. Okay, now we are almost over encumbered, so we will drop a bunch of that, and now we have some more room. But if we take a look at our inventory here, 64 aloe, 51 hides, 33 gold, 188 ironstone. That's not too shabby of a resource run. As well as adding the second water skin and filling those both up. Now we will find you can see the coal even from here, a little bit of iron up here, but more up on this hill, but it's guarded by one of these big stone monsters, as well as there's the big stone monster as he detects us, and two of the mountain lynxes that can be pretty dangerous when you have no armor. Not only do they do very strong attacks, they also can lay in a very powerful bleed attack, which can be downright lethal. So, this video is starting to get up there. We're at about 85 minutes, so I think what we're going to do is head back to our base camp, and I think we're gonna conclude this episode here for now. We've gotten off on a very good start, and we've made some major upgrades in this episode. Our next big upgrade will be to have armor, and then we will be able to walk this savage realm of Conan a bit more fearlessly. Right now, yeah, we have to have a little bit of fear. Fear keeps us alive. I want to keep an eye on this bugger. Throw in some evasive maneuvers while we head back to our base. Okay, there, he's good. He's going back. Good. Because I did want a chance to kill this deer and get a few more hides before we call it a day. There we go. One thing that's kind of a annoyance is you have to wait until the animation was done to switch weapons. Like here we did our big attack, and our animation was still going. We were not able to switch to our skinning knife until that animation had finished. And again, hopefully our theory about building on the pillars is correct. Make us less susceptible to the purge. Again, we don't know if that's true or false yet, but we will definitely test it out, because if it works, it's definitely worth knowing. Okay, so now we are doing good with our coal furnace. 2 hours of burn time. We have quite a bit, looks like we'll have quite a bit of iron to make for our rest of our tools, as well as some armor. And we have some food. And we have a bit more food to cook up. We have water, so we're going to be good to go. We're going to have a great setup here for our next episode, which may even come out yet today. See how we're doing. But again, we're going to close it up for today. I'm the Gray Hair Gamer. Thanks for joining us. If you found the videos informative, helpful, entertaining in any way, please consider giving a thumbs up, a like, following the channel. It'll definitely help us out. We really appreciate all the views and all the good kind words. So until next time, here we get a face shot. I am the Gray Hair Gamer, and thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Take